The following may contain language which will be offensive to some people and inappropriate for children. Still here? Then pour your favorite beverage and let's get this fucking show started.
Fantastic Forum, assemble. You are watching Fantastic Forum, the premier show about comic books and your live weekly conversation about entertainment and geek culture. We are the Fantastic Forum, coming to you live and direct from the Hall of F. Hope you're having a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, or night, as the case may be, depending on where you are in the world. And if you're not, you should stick with us. We'll help you take it up a notch. You have the usual suspects in the building. First, he is our riddle inside of an enigma trapped in Chinese finger cuffs. You don't know him. You love him anyway. He's our silent assassin, Jay.
Hey, what's up?
Thank you, Jay. Next,
he just put on clothes.
He is our Say what?
I did put on clothes for the show.
He just.
Well, I mean, I put on a shirt. Like I'm not wearing anything else.
Oh, Jesus. So, well, listen. What we did.
There's a second camera under his desk for our OnlyFans.
Jay out here Winnie the Poohing it. Just got just a shirt. I'm like, damn, no thanks, Jay. You just ruined the show.
When did he become the leader of China?
Next, he is our... Next, he is our intrepid senior reporter. He's next in line for the cowl. He is our resident Dark Knight detective. It's Oz.
That's right. The die is cast.
Right.
Lawrence don't get it.
Next. I read it through. Whatever. He's the backbone, the pillar, the strength of Fantastic Forum, our nigh invulnerable brawler and resident strongman, Moses Magnum.
L'chaim.
I like that Fantastic Forum Starbucks collabo. I'm not mad at that.
Yeah. It's like that's even rarer than those pink shit that people are stealing, those Stanley cups.
I don't know
that
what
is so stupid.
You never heard of that? Those like thermal cups that they used to be for construction workers, but then they started selling them for moms.
I've got like 1,000 of those that I get from work all the time.
That's the joint that was in the fire, and it was like the only thing that survived in that car fire.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there's a pink Valentine one.
Mm-hmm. That caused the whole thing at Starbucks and Target, and like people were fighting for it in line. And
it's like this year's Tickle Me Elmo
for adults.
Listen, that is not the circles I roll in. I don't know anything about that. That was not on my radar at all.
They've been real popular for like 2 years, and then out of nowhere, now it's just getting more and more. And I'm like, man, the fuck, like I'm happy with my, my plastic one.
There it is. As for myself, my name is Lawrence Young. They call me Mary Young. Welcome to Fantastic Forum. We got a great show for you today. Thanks, Shay. No. Thanks, Bo. No, yeah. Look, we're all here. We don't need they don't need to see me. Look. We are going to be talking to you all about the Superior Spider-Man Returns one shot, as well as the Superior Spider-Man series #1, and who knows? Possibly,
there's no
I don't know what the rest of y'all read.
There's no the.
I know there's no but it's still the Superior Spider-Man series, right?
It's just uncapitalized.
You can't say the when you say it. Like it sounds wrong.
I can't. I think I have to because I prefaced it with the Superior Spider-Man one shot. And if I just say and Superior Spider-Man series, like I can say that grammatically, but that's not how that would work. Like,
no,
you know what I mean?
That is how it would work.
Technically, it'd be like
if it was any other
the series, the ongoing series.
I could do that, yeah, and Superior Spider-Man, the ongoing series. But if if I put the in front, like if it was not Superior Spider-Man, we wouldn't be having this conversation. Like, because like it's not the, but I feel you though, because you're right. Like the Superior Spider-Man Returns is the title of the other book. But if I'm talking about the next book and I say the Superior Spider-Man series, that's a thing. It's just not. Joe's like, no. Joe's like, no. Okay, you know what? You're right, Jay. Shut down the show. Let's start over. My bad. No, I ruined it. I didn't mean.
You might do it. Don't tell them.
The die is cast.
All right. We're also going to be talking to you all about Wolverine number 41, which is the start of the Sabretooth War, which is touted as the what is it, the most violent Wolverine story ever told or something like that. I think that's what it said on the cover. Yeah. So we'll be talking to you all about that as well. And of course, whatever else is that you all want to talk about. So we got all that coming in just a bit. Yeah. So with that said, I did say we'll tell you how to get with it in just a minute. But before we do that, we want to make sure that we thank Mr. Scott Rubin, because without him, this show would not exist. So thank you very much, Scott Rubin. Hope all is well with you. And yeah, with that, let's let the intern do their thing.
Want to get in on the action? Call Fantastic Forum on Skype and join the fun. Too shy to call in? That's okay. You can join the Discord chat room available at
fantasticforum.live.
Join the party. You know you want to.
I agree. You know you want to. So join the party. Why not? Why not? Where we talk about articles and contractions and other forms of. So anyway, gentlemen, how's everybody doing? It's good to see you all. Joe's tired. Got it. It's like Oz is got it. What'd you say? Mo?
When I was driving home, I was like thinking about how much funnier it was when we only did audio, and when you would ask us questions that we didn't answer, like it was a lot funnier. On video, it's still funny, but not as funny because we're all.
It's true.
Here, you ask a question, and we're all just like, because
it's like
with
one of its classic. Oh, go ahead.
In the audio only, you can't see us going like, so
right.
It made it.
I was gonna say Mary Young with the classic gotcha questions, right? How are y'all doing? They're like, man, who knew he was gonna ask such a thing? Anyway, do what the intern says. Go to fantasticforum .live and join the conversation. Hit call in, and you can be the 5th member of Fantastic Forum, or you will take your comments directly out of chat, bringing them into the show. Such as Jay, insert a witty chat comment here for me, friend.
Tiger Claw says, you guys looking forward to playing the new Indiana Jones game? It's first person and comes out this year.
Is it going to be on Steam?
Have you all seen that game?
No.
All I saw was just the Instagram like people reaction, but not like just a picture. I didn't see it in motion.
Is there actual gameplay footage yet?
Is it actually what?
Is there actual gameplay footage yet?
There is.
That's what I thought I saw, and it looked like the de-aged the movie. So I'm like, are they showing me the movie? Or
it's the same. It's the same CGI.
The same engine,
yeah.
But
it is good. It is a young indie.
I did like that movie, so I'm okay if it looks like that.
I think they said it takes place between like timeline wise, I think they said it takes place between Temple of Doom and The Last Crusade, I think.
Okay.
So
the fact that it's first person has me not really excited about it.
You don't like first person games?
I mean, some, but not really.
Gotcha.
Or is it like
Indiana
Jones first person that you don't like? Like, does that turn you off?
No, just first person.
Like
first person shooters, I'm not really into. Like normally, the only first person games I like are like open world RPGs.
Mm-hmm.
So,
you mean like Skyrim or something?
Yeah, Skyrim, Fallout, Borderlands.
Gotcha.
I always turn those into third person myself. Except
Mm,
Borderlands. I don't know if we could do that in Borderlands.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Like you have to set up a second. If you want to do third person, you would have to set up a second controller and just follow yourself in like multiplayer.
That would be hardcore.
But honestly, I didn't feel like I like the first person in that felt like easier than the other ones. Like I feel more constrained in like Fallout or Skyrim than I did in the other one, you know? Like it's an easier first person for me.
I'm not liking this. Like
the game,
like visually, the
Sharon,
background and like the environment looks amazing, but the people look weird. They're animated weird. They move weird. When they start talking, it's just weird.
I will say that personally, I don't think that I would prefer to play an Indiana Jones game in first person either. However, if I was going to be playing an Indiana Jones game in first person, like this is probably as good as it would probably get, you know? Like it looks good, I think, generally. I don't know about the whole idea of like, you know, using a whip and all that in third person. And Tiger Claw did mention, well, he did correct me. It's actually between Raiders and The Last Crusade. So appreciate that, Tiger Claw.
Yeah, because that means the whole timeline is off if it was in between those two.
Yeah, but no, it's Raiders, Raiders and Last Crusade. And he did also mention, which they do show in the trailer, that the traversal, you go into third person. So they're like kind of key moments where the camera pulls back and you see Indy doing stuff, which, you know, for me, I'm like, when I see that, I'm kind of like, I think, yeah, exactly. I feel like it makes me feel like that's the game I want to be playing. Like I want to, those moments are what I would like to be doing, but I don't know.
Like, for me, it's like if I want to play, like I played third person Indiana Jones already back when I played Tomb Raider, you know, and then when I played the Nathan Drake games, yeah. So it's like,
no, I don't know. Are those the same?
They're all Indiana Jones to me. Just one's got big tits and the other one, you know, doesn't have a hat. You know.
Whoa. Listen, I don't think Lara Croft has a hat either.
Yeah, but I'm
for some reason you mentioned her giant breast.
Yeah.
Look, I don't look. For a second there, I thought you were going to say something about Nathan Drake's penis, and I was like, of course you didn't.
We're not talking about The Witcher. Larry, are you plugged in through a LAN or are you on Wi-Fi?
No, I'm on LAN. Why?
He's on a 10.
You've got some serious lag.
Yeah.
Oh, do I really? Oh no.
Yeah.
Let me find out what's going on.
Your Wi-Fi is probably on your computer. You could probably turn it off so it just focuses on LAN. You might need to do that. Yeah.
I will do that.
Tiger Claw says, I wonder what the artifact is going to be. There's always something supernatural about them.
And that's kind of my point with this game. It's like, at this point, I don't care what it is. I could do a Telltale Indiana Jones game.
Dude, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, Telltale Indiana Jones game would be fantastic.
All right. Look, let's do it. Because realistically, it's like, Indiana Jones, I like the stories. Like, I like that adventure, like the whole setup, the bigger part. Like, you know, a lot of people say that Indiana Jones is one of those movies where it's like, if he's not in it, everything in the movie still happens the way it's going to happen. And So they're like, well, yeah. So I feel like if that's what it is, and yeah, I like that too. So let's do a game like that too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Tiger Claw asks, you ever played the point-and-click adventure Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis?
No. Is it on Steam? Because
I played the other one. I played the one based on the Last Crusade. I don't think I played the Fate of Atlantis.
I actually just watched the Dial of Destiny the other day for the first time.
I haven't seen it
I
yet.
actually like that movie.
Yeah, I love
know a lot of people were shitting on it, but I thought it was great. I don't think the girl upstaged Indy. Like, she was in there just enough so that if they wanted to go on with her, they could. But Indy was like front and center doing this thing.
Her character, like the origin of her character, the development of her character, and then what she did in the movie, I liked all of it. So it's like, if they want to go with her, they can, or if they want to give you a second, tie-in universe, whatever, they can. And the lady they got to play her, like, was great at it. So like, from watching like Fleabag, like, I didn't think she could do like that adventure action stuff. Yeah. And but she's good at that too. Look, so she's a funny, dry wit, dry humor person for like sitcom-y stuff, and she's good at the action comedy too. So I'm in.
Did you see it, Oz, or no?
No, that bitch annoyed me in the trailers. I was gonna spend 2 hours on that.
Oz was like, women, I'm out.
If I want a female Indiana Jones, I got Lara Croft.
Is Lara Croft not different from Indiana Jones to y'all? Like,
neither is Nathan Drake.
Yeah, they're the same. And they're all Alan Quartermain. Although Alan Quartermain,
that's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, see, like, I don't and don't get me wrong, I definitely understand why you would make like the illusion, and I'm not saying people don't, because obviously they do, but I'm like Lara Croft, like, actually, like, very much feels like a different character than Indiana Jones. Like, it's like saying like
they are
from National Treasure is Indiana Jones.
She's she's a lot different than Indiana. She's more different than Indiana Jones than Nathan Drake is, which is why I've seen Lara Croft movies. I didn't see Uncharted.
Uncharted wasn't bad.
I watched it. It was okay. Like, it wasn't terrible. It just wasn't great either. Like, but
the scenes were pretty good.
Yeah, but, like, it's definitely a better game than a movie.
And he's got the friends, like the old friends, like just like Indiana Jones, like in every country, some are like aligned with pirates, some aren't. Yeah, it's the same. And then Lara Croft, yeah, I get that. You know what was better than Lara Croft was the other one, the one that Asia Carrera had on TV. They did a show, and it wasn't like Tomb Raider, but it was like Casket Grifter or something, like. Yeah, and she played
Grifter.
And she was like an archaeologist. She was like She was more like Indiana Jones than. And it was like a Saturday afternoon show, like when they did like Mortal Kombat Unlimited or whatever, or like Cleopatra 2525 or Sinbad or Xena, or Mutant X for all you Marvel people. So it's like it's one of those shows, and the show itself wasn't that great, but the story was like, I'm like, man, this is like, it's like Lara Croft fan fiction, and you have Asia Carrera playing her, and then her acting chops are there. She could do it on a weekly basis. So I like that. I forgot what it was called, but that was pretty good. But that definitely felt a lot more like Indiana Jones because you get to see personality. That's one of the things of Indiana Jones that separates from a game perspective, is that you see the people around them. Like, some people like him, some people hate him, some people are trying to kill him, some people and that's what I really liked about this Dial of Destiny, where it's like he's being hunted down by like Nazis and shit, you know, from because of what he did. Like he's on their list, you know, instead of, you know, and that is like the ramifications of something he did in the past are coming to him in his old age, where he's like, I'm too old for this, Larry. I'm gonna go fight. And
indeed,
I must be misspelling her name wrong because I keep getting the porn actress.
Oh, I'm sorry, Tia Carrera.
Yeah, okay. I was like, yeah, it sounded familiar, but like, no. Relic Hunter.
Relic Hunter, that's what it was.
Yeah. Relic Hunter. There
it
is.
It was on for like 3 years. 99.
Yeah. Casket Grifter.
Yeah.
We should make that one next.
Like, why do I just keep getting porn? I mean, it's a beautiful woman, but
I think we know why you just keep getting porn on. It's like the real question is why is it only gay porn?
But yeah, that Relic Hunter, that was, and I was like, I watched that. I think I watched all 3 seasons of that because it was actually pretty good too, and it was corny, you know, Saturday afternoon TV from back then.
Yeah, it looked like Lara Croft.
Yeah. But that, like you said, like TV, like that was in that block had a certain amount of corniness expected. It's not like like Hercules and Xena, you know, like
and it put in, you know, because it was a longer form storytelling, you could develop the characters in a serialized way, kind of, you know.
Yeah, so cool. All right, y'all ready to get into some comic book reviews?
Hold on, let me save this Asia Carrera.
All right, let's do this.
Is Mo talking about bondage babes?
I never
review
like
review.
Well, not like that, but like.
All right. The Superior Spider-Man returns. Moses, talk to us about this book.
This book exists because there was a great Superior Spider-Man run in the past, and now that he's not here anymore, and you know, they're going to give you an issue 1 of Superior Spider-Man, and he's not really in it, so they had to give you a second issue to explain why the issue 1 of his is happening. So that's what the one-shot series. It's like that's really technically that should be Superior Spider-Man number 1, but there's so much with Dan Slott and Superior Spider-Man. They did so much of there's so much lore at this point because he's such a seminal writer in Spider-Man that if you missed something back then, you need a recap now, you know. And he's always worked like that, where he lays nuggets of what's happening in the future in the past. So like, and you see that like a lot of what happens in Superior Spider-Man Returns is like they call it a biased a biased retelling of what happened in certain issues, where it's from like straight up from Otto's warped perspective. If you read those issues, you know, like, oh yeah, I remember when this happened, you know, and there's that, and it continues into the first one. The first one is really like heavy on the Spider Boy thing, but it doesn't feel like, well, like we're not reviewing that yet. No.
Yeah, we're talking about the Superior Spider-Man Return.
Both, and I'm happy that I read them both. Like when they came out, so I was like, I read one right after the other, but I read them backwards. So that's where I was like a little confused. But then one, you know, and then today I read them both again in order, and I was like, okay, good. It all made sense. So, but yeah, and that's that one shot is basically giving you a Superior Spider-Man story or Otto Octavius story that kind of it's almost like Superior Spider-Man 0 for this new volume. And I don't know, you know, because Otto's still Otto now. He's not like in Parker's body or Spider-Man. So I don't know how we're gonna do that. Like I know they did that Superior Octopus run for a while, but that only lasted like 3 issues or some shit, and made a great Snap variant card, but I don't think that went anywhere. Now we're here, so I don't know how much of that you need to read for these new books, but I feel like these kind of fill you in fairly easily. Like it's an easy jumping on point for this Otto Octavius Spider-Man universe story.
Yeah.
I think that Superior Octopus confused people because he looks like a Hydra agent.
Well, yeah, but that was when he was a part of Hydra, though, right? Because that was during.
No, it was after. It was after the Superior Spider-Man stuff.
Yeah, but it was years after. Like their stories.
He was still trying to be Doc Ock, but a hero. And that's when he was like I think he was friendly with Jameson for a while too.
Right, but the reason why he looks like Hydra is because he was a part of Hydra, because that's when Captain America was the head of Hydra, right? Like during
and that's how he got his minions that we see now.
Yeah.
Right?
Wait, which minions?
The ones he has now?
One, like the Spiderlings you're talking about?
Yeah.
Or you're talking about like ones like
No, like those. No. Okay.
No, I don't think so. I think that well, in this book, they were kind of showing us, like, I guess, the origin of where he got the Spiderlings, right? Because which I immediately thought about Oz when I read that, because I was like, oh, like the origin of, like, I know Oz likes the origins of, but I guess he likes the origins of like actual, like, physical objects, right? Not not concepts.
Yeah.
right. But like this Superior Spider-Man Returns book takes place like definitely like an in-between time for Superior Spider-Man, and so like they're concepts that end up showing up like throughout that run, but like we kind of jump at different points in time here because you have the character that they introduce in this book, or or retcon into the book, however you want to say it, Supernova.
Yeah.
But she kind of like was there for like the different iterations of Superior Spider-Man.
I feel like she showed up in one, like it's one of those things that Mo said that he put something there that explains the feature, because I think I remember her showing up and attacking Spider-Man after he's Peter Parker again, and Peter Parker's like, I don't know who the fuck you are.
And well, that's what they show you in Superior Spider-Man 1. It's that scene again, but with Spider-Boy in it.
Okay.
Yeah. Wait, what? Wait, what scene again?
So the where he saw Supernova attacking Spider-Man and he doesn't know who she is, and then that's what they do in Superior Spider-Man #1.
Oh, right, but that's like present day though, right? Like, or what's happening.
I could have sworn I saw that scene play out when I was reading the original. Like when I read it again in the other book, I remember thinking, I kind of remember that something like that happening.
I don't think in the Superior Spider-Man run, like in the original.
No,
run,
it would have been right after when Peter Parker's back after that. I guess it was Amazing #1.
Oh,
where he's like,
and you might have seen.
He's trying to piece his life back together. I know he gets attacked by somebody.
Humberto Ramos cover where he's like jumping without his mask on.
Yeah, and probably not that issue, but because I got like a few issues into that run, and it might not have been this person. It might have just been some other random person that showed up with a grudge against Spider-Man because of stuff that Superior did.
Right. Yeah, I think you're right. I think that
was
does
a long
happen
time ago too, so I could just be, transposing this villain with a different generic as villain.
Right. But it's interesting though, because it kind of like, it feels like they kind of insert the character a little bit into like the the different iterations of Superior Spider-Man. Like, you know, she kind of is the person that inadvertently prompts him to like use the additional arms, you know, for in his costume, and you know, and also is the person that like kind of prompts him to get, you know, to actually have more, you know, spiderlings, you know, like he makes, like she's the first spiderling before there was spiderlings, because she gives her that spiderling suit, and then when she mentions, "Oh, we'll need more help," she's like, "Yeah." And so now he has like a little army of spiderlings, you know. And you know, I thought that was kind of interesting, just because it was almost like, you know, like the hidden history of Superior Spider-Man, you know. What did you think, Jay?
It was okay. Like, I don't feel like I needed to read it.
Okay.
But I did read it, and it was okay.
Now, let me ask you this question. Do you feel like you needed to read it in order to best enjoy Superior
No, like,
Spider-Man #1?
I was enjoying Superior Spider-Man before I read the Superior Spider-Man Returns. And I
Oh,
was
okay.
like, yeah, why do I need to read this? Like, I have all the information I need in this comic, so I don't really need the Superior Spider-Man Returns.
Yeah, the first half of this book is just a retelling of how he became Superior.
I mean, yes and no, though, right?
Like, I didn't need that first half of the book, but I understand it being there because there's a lot of people that don't even know what a Superior Spider-Man was.
Now, or they may not remember,
or they need a refresher. But would you rather have
right,
in a $4 or $5 issue 1, or would you have it in 2 separate books that are like $3-4? Yeah,
I'd want it in a free issue 0. Yeah, I was thinking that too. Free issue 0, just those pages, just the retelling, like not the whole thing when he gets the spiderlings and all that. You can kind of like that can be a #1, but just the up to the point that he becomes Superior Spider-Man, like how he talks
like,
about the disease and the uploading his mind and all that.
I think what I'm getting at, because like this issue 1 has like 2 stories in it. Like, why not just put a 3rd story in it, or 4 at this point? Because there's technically like 2 stories in the amount of stuff you get in Returns. You know, just make a big issue 1 and, you know, charge $6 for it. Yeah,
that's true. If they make it that big, it'll probably be 10.
maybe, but I mean,
and that's when people will start. I think people will start checking out, honestly, at the $6-7 mark. Like, there's some people that aren't going to pay that for a comic book, especially one that they don't like already. You know what I mean?
Well, look, like there's not that many people buying comic books as it is.
Yeah,
but again, why make 2 books? A free issue 0. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that this should have just been part of the Superior Spider-Man run, but I guess it was like, I guess they thought they could sell more of it as a self-contained anniversary special or something.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, that's part of it, but yeah.
I will say that while I definitely understand where you all are coming from in regards to saying like, hey, you know, I don't know if I need all this backstory.
I did like the backstory.
So. Yeah. I mean, I think one, you know, you definitely need it for the people who this might be their first book, you know, their first exposure, like you said. But also, too, it's not like it's interesting because you're getting it from Doc Ock's perspective, which of course, like I said, is skewed. And so, you know, like he literally like talks about things like, you know, what do you call him? Like he called like basically talk about how jealous Spider-Man is, which is hilarious, you know, or you know, how he was brutalized by Spider-Man and I like that, you know, it's just funny, like the way of him, like his thought process. Huh?
The events of was it Ends of the Earth when he like swapped to begin with. Like
Right.
it's his version of that too. Like, and he tells you like
Yeah.
my brain's not there yet, so this is how I see it. You know, like
Right. Right. But also too, it's like that entire thing, like in the background of that retelling is him finding supernova again, which when the issue starts you don't know that, but
yeah.
but you see that he's finding something and he's like, why don't I remember this, you know what I'm saying? So um yeah. And what I will say is that it's for people that have read the book back then, which is crazy because that was such a long time ago now. But maybe we still remember it because it was a seminal time in Spider-Man, but at the same time that there's definitely something to be said about getting a slightly different perspective on it. But also too, like, I didn't realize, and because I haven't been reading Spider-Man, that Doc Ock has been having like memory issues. Like, I was trying to figure out like why he was like talking about like, oh, what, he was like, why don't I remember this? And I'm just like, yeah, like I figured they're gonna tell me why, but then I just come to find out that like Doc Ock's been having some kind of like memory issue for some reason that I don't, or at least I didn't pick up on it in the book. Do any of you like more privy to like what's been going on with him, or why he doesn't remember things?
I'm not.
When I don't know if that's the cause of this, but I remember when he transferred his consciousness back into a Doc Ock body, he specifically separated the Spider-Man stuff so that he wouldn't remember that Spider-Man is Peter Parker.
Now, why did he do that?
So he wouldn't have the memories of him as Superior Spider-Man either, because he knew that it would affect him in a way that he would not be Doc Ock anymore. He'd still be trying to be a good guy.
Oh,
but
okay.
And this is after the because he had the Chinese body for a while, right? Like the
Tolliver,
yeah,
or whatever, which was still it was like a Peter Parker clone with black hair.
But that was after that.
Yeah, it was after that.
Okay.
Man,
why would he go to his pudgy body? Like,
I was like, I definitely wouldn't do that. Make that choice if I had the choice.
It's like, oh yeah, like I'll just make another body, but yeah, just not the pudgy body. Like, something with a little more metabolism, less thyroid issues. Let's see. Yeah.
Right. He could have used the friggin' like top tier Sinister Six like white suit body.
Yeah,
like that Doc Ock, which he was still a little bit bigger, like as far as like he wasn't exactly slim, but he was in better shape than the classic Doc Ock.
He could wear a tailored suit without a coat, you know.
He didn't have like little belly hanging out the bottom, you know. So yeah. I will say that reading this book, I definitely was like surprising, or not surprising, but maybe I didn't realize how much I missed reading Superior Spider-Man. You know, like I just like, dude, like Superior Spider-Man was just a really cool and interesting time, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like that version of Spider-Man was pretty awesome. There he is, that white suit. Yeah, like, don't get me wrong, like this fool's not gonna mess around and win any beauty contests, but you know, that's a Doc Ock that has a certain amount of intimidation.
Right. Even without the metal arms.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that guy walks into the spot. You take notice. You're like, are we good?
We got to give him his take for the week.
So, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe he felt good in the look. He has high self concept. He's like, I like that pudgy body. He's like, if you don't like it, that's your problem, Moses. he's like, why don't you? He's like, you take care of your pudgy body.
Like, that's why I hate it, because it looks like I'm like looking in a mirror.
It's so crazy.
I don't come to comics for this, you know. Like, but it's like he's like, yeah, even the way he laughs, like it makes him look so evil, and it's so classic. It's like, why isn't there some like public interest group like getting mad at Dan Slott for this design? You know, like, because we need, like, you know, it's like, why is it because he's fat he's got to be evil, or why is he because he's evil he got to be this fat? Like, come on, yeah.
Hey, everybody knows that all us fat people are evil. Everyone knows that, except Santa. He's the only one that has the good PR.
What do you mean, us, white man? You're over here, Slim Larry. Larry's out of touch now. He's slim. I saw I hugged you earlier when I saw you in the morning. It's like, oh shit, my arms go all the way around.
You're so crazy.
You guys don't know, but Larry actually got cancer.
Oh Jesus! I did not have cancer. Please, I don't look. Don't put that out there.
Yeah,
if I end up with cancer, I know exactly who to blame now. No, I'll be like, Mo put that bad juju in the air. Till you do right by me, Moses Mackel. No, man. But yeah, it's. I definitely like missed it, and I was just like, oh man, like this is cool. Like it's a fun nostalgia trip. I'm by no means am I sitting here like, oh, we should go back or anything like that. And even like with the new series, you know, like I don't believe that they're gonna like I think that what they're doing with this series is literally just gonna be like it's just another adjective, you know, like Spider-Man is
sure.
You think they're gonna go back and I haven't read I only read issue 1, so
I read issue 3. And it looks like that is exactly what they're going to do.
Oh, Jesus. Really? Okay. Well, damn. That's wild. Like, I guess I got to keep reading to figure out what the hell is going to happen with this. Because I'm just like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if you can go back to that well, but maybe you can. Like, what I was going to say is, for me and my money, I'm happy with, like, an anniversary special every few years. You know what I'm saying? Like if you want to mess around and do a old like a Superior Spider-Man story, you know, every 5 years or so, that would be awesome for me. You know, but we'll see what happens. Like I'll keep reading, and you know, yeah. But anyway, how did you all feel about the art for the Superior Spider-Man Returns?
It was great.
Oh, okay. So the art you really liked, Jay. Okay. Yes. Okay. How about you, Mo? What'd you think?
I liked it, and I took note that because there's like moments that take place in other comics. So I don't know if they reprinted them and then just relettered them, but they look like the other comics. So it's like if like Paulo Rivera like Comic Cooley drew one issue that they were referring to, that art looks Comic Cooley art, you know. So it's like So in the flashbacks, the art changed. I don't know if it was the same artist doing everything and just like modifying it to look like what he's referencing, or if they just cut and paste. But that was a good touch. Either way, it worked. I don't care. There's a whole thing. Matthew Scalera did a podcast with Eric Canete talking about tracing in comics, and it was like two amazing artists fucking talking shit about people. Matthew Scalera, particularly, you know, from Black Science. I mean, you look at that art, and it's like he hates tracing because it's like his art looks like it was traced from anything. It don't look like he even uses a pen or pencil. Like, he just uses a brush, to do everything. So he's like, he's like, I fucking hate these cocksuckers that fucking trace, and he's going nuts, And it's great. I wish I knew the name of the podcast to listen to it, but they're technically our competition, and they're better than us in every single way. So I'm not gonna promote them. But and that's when I thought, like, I had listened to that conversation and then like read this again, and I'm like, you could have easily just cut and pasted a lot, and it doesn't look like it was the exact art that they just reprinted with new dialogue and stuff. But they made it look like that era of like who was trying in that time. Yeah.
Well, it's a good question, because I mean, I know that all the artists that are credited for this book are the Spider-Man artists. Like, it is like all the people you mentioned.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they did come back and actually like recreated their panels, or if they actually just took the art and, like you said, relettered it, because that could be the case. Like obviously some of the art, most of the art is new.
Yeah.
But there are places, right, where it's like that was like that, like flashbacks, basically.
Yeah, the flashbacks. And so if they pasted those, then I'm either way, I'm good. They got credit, I'm good. They got that better get residuals too. Shit.
Yeah.
Like, I'm down with that. But so if that explains. I promoted Matthew Scalera and Eric Canete's podcast for nothing. Jay's looking like, what show can I listen to during these guys?
Jay's like, that sounds really interesting.
I think I put it in our Discord. That's why Larry hasn't heard of it. But
that's it. That's why.
But I thought I did, or at least I meant to, when I heard their little conversation. Then when I saw it was a podcast, I'm like, thank you.
Oz, how about you, man? How'd you feel about the art?
It's fine. It's what I expected.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a new up and coming artist, right?
Right. That young upstart Ryan Stegman, right? Which I think Ryan Stegman actually did do the primary art for this book, if I'm not mistaken.
And some guy named Badgley. And
right.
Ramos Ramon something.
Right. Yeah.
Some guy named Kaman Coley.
Bert Ramos. Yeah. Hex in chat. You saying Razor Ramon?
Happy belated birthday to Heck. He's turning 26 today. Or Monday.
Yay. Wait, happy belated Heck.
I looked it up real quick, and he didn't choose to become fat. It was a Mephisto deal. Mephisto restored him to his original state without the
and it's like, it's the original state with like the bad art from like Spider-Man 3. Like
right.
He looks like that cover when it's like this Spider-Man can't, like, when you look at that cover of like I think it's Amazing Spider-Man 3, his first appearance or whatever. And it's like the tentacles are holding him, and Spider-Man's like, but it's like this little pudgy dude, and it's like, and I remember looking at that cover as a little kid, like, Spider-Man can't kill him, like he can't snap his neck. and
it's got the tentacles.
Yeah, and they didn't even have adamantium then.
No, they weren't adamantium. Yeah.
Real quick, a wrestling fact for Hecht, which he probably knows this, but he brought up Razor Ramon. The Razor's Edge is one of the few finishers that has never been kicked out of.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like, no one ever kicked out of the Razor's Edge.
Makes sense, man. It's deadly.
Well, there's no leverage. Like, when they get you in that, like, there's nothing, you can't even lift your one shoulder up to be like, oh, shoulder off the mat,
Yeah.
Like, pin down on the two shoulders, and then your legs are flying in the air.
Really? Like, people kicked out of the Perfect Plex?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Damn.
You should do yourself a favor and look up early Scott Hall wrestling, like what he looked like before he became Razor Ramon. Dude, like who's this white guy?
And I was watching a video not too long ago, but it was like all the finishing moves that have been kicked out of the lease.
Oh.
And,
not even when they had fake Razor?
That I can't tell you.
Because I would assume everybody was kicking out of everything when fake Razor and Diesel were around.
Who's fake Razor? Like what is that?
I forget who played Razor. I know fake Diesel was Kane.
Yeah.
Oh.
I forget who played fake Razor.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool though.
Fake Razor rarely got the Razor's Edge off.
No, but the Razor's Edge actually was a super cool finishing move. Like it's just it kind of has a little bit of everything, you know. It has like the theatrics. It has like, you know, like there's like it looks like a feat, you know, because you're like friggin' like holding somebody up, and then, you know, like it just has a cool kind of, even like the way that you pin it's different. It's interesting, you know. Yeah, it's a good finishing move. Anyway,
fake Razor was a nobody.
Damn,
like he didn't do anything after. I looked at all his aliases and none of them do I recognize.
This fool is somewhere right now, one teardrop. You don't know why. He's just like, damn it. He's like, he can feel that in the force. So you said it with so much conviction, Oz. He's nobody. This fool's soul is hurt somewhere.
I know fake Diesel becomes Kane. I don't know any of the other characters that fake Razor played.
Gotcha.
Well, wasn't the fake Kane like Isaac Yankum too? Like the Deathist?
Yeah. Yeah. It was.
All right, let's rate the Superior Spider-Man.
Real
Returns.
Quick, Hector chat says, damn, I lost it. He said he wanted to hear the podcast that I was referring to. So I did put a video in our Discord. So in the artwork section or one section, I don't know. I don't remember now. But it's there and it has the link in it, you know, you figure it out.
And before we get off Wrestle Talk, somebody pointed out, and now I wish this would have happened, that they never teamed up The Undertaker and IRS as Death and Taxes.
Yeah, that would be cool.
That would have been amazing.
It would have been. Yeah.
With Neil Gaiman as their valet.
Why Neil Gaiman?
Because the first Larry, why do you hate comics? Because it's the first trade of Death was called Death and Taxes.
Why do I need to know that?
Well, because it happened before even Undertaker existed.
Okay. I'm just saying, like, I gotta know the name of the trade. Like,
the story arc name. So it was the name of the first issue, like two, you know.
Okay, that's fair. Got it. Okay.
I like the song "Death and Taxes."
I don't like IRS because it's too anti-Semitic.
What?
We're
just gonna leave that alone.
No, his name was like Erwin R. Shyster.
Yeah, Shyster.
Yes, it's way anti-Semitic. It's like I'm surprised they didn't get like a featherweight in a yarmulke. Yeah,
but like a shyster is a word, though, right? Like, well, I mean, don't get me wrong. I understand it has like a.
It's an anti-Semitic word. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, is it still considered that?
It's not like peanut gallery or those words, but yeah, it is. You know, it is.
Okay.
Like there's a bunch of words. Like what was the other one? Like I forgot. There's a whole a bunch of words.
Let's not try to think up anti-Semitic words.
No, we're not.
I agree.
That's what they are. You know.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. So, Superior Spider-Man Returns #1. Jay, what would you rate it?
I would give it a 3. It's good, but ultimately unnecessary.
Okay, that's fair. Hex correct. No. Oscor, what would you rate the Superior Spider-Man Returns?
I'm gonna go with 4. I miss Superior Spider-Man.
Yeah. Moses Magnum, what would you rate Superior Spider-Man Returns?
For me, yeah, it's a 4. I enjoyed it. I hate that it would have been a 5 if it was part of Superior Spider-Man #1. But
Gotcha.
it's a 4 because I had to pay extra to get it.
I don't remember in that. I don't remember him stealing stuff, and it may just be I don't remember it.
No, well, that might be what they're introducing now, like to keep him a criminal, you know? Like
I know, but it just like it kind of bugged me. But I figured, well, maybe I just don't remember because it was so long ago.
Well, because he was always
2013.
Even as a hero, he was still a villain at heart because he's a villain at heart. So he would do good things, but he would do self-serving things too.
Right.
You know, that's why he created this. Like Peter Parker. Like I know Oz and I have a debate every time we get drunk, where it's like he loves Superior. Like he's the better Spider-Man. Like he is this, and he's not. Like Peter Parker is the Superior because, you know, he created the Spider Bots because he's a genius and he's lazy and he's like, oh, I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to.
It's not lazy.
It's the time management that Peter Parker was never able to figure out.
Again, but it's like some crime, like you see it in this issue. Some crimes like, oh, that's beneath me. Let the EMS take, you know. And it's like, and it's like Peter Parker's like going to help whoever he can help. And yeah, he put the spider tracker on the guy that stole the purse. But by the time he tracks him down, the purse is gone, the money's gone, the guy's already hooked on meth. Like, what the fuck does the guy care that Superior Spider-Man's coming after him? You know, Peter Parker nabs the guy in the moment.
He called Daredevil.
He outsourced it to Daredevil.
Right.
I thought it was hilarious. Yeah. He's like, he's saying when he says something like that's a task that's a task that's equal to his skills or something like that. I was like, damn, this fool was like Daredevil.
Yeah. Again,
hey, Daredevil, go get that purse snatcher handled by Lightweight.
That attitude to me as the hero that Spider-Man is makes him inferior. Like
and look, Peter Parker Spider-Man is definitely the better hero. Nobody would
look. I'm talking about the drunk talks Oz and I have when we're drinking and shit. So that's it. Like, you know, you can say that here. You don't say that when we're drunk.
That's because he's usually drunk too.
Hilarious. But is he the best Spider-Man? Is what Oz is drunk arguing. And look, there might be an argument made. Look, we got a new contender in the ring right now, right? Because now that we got an Uncanny Spider-Man, Uncanny Spider-Man might be better than both.
If you actually took the time and read the books like I do,
oh jeez,
you would have pointed out that when he gives the body back to Peter Parker, he actually refers to Peter Parker as the Superior Spider-Man.
Yeah,
thus ending the run of Superior Spider-Man. That's in the last issue. I know I shed a tear. Spider-Man sheds a tear in that scene too. It's I read that book every now and then.
Yeah, Larry.
Yeah, it's good.
But it would be the Superior Spider-Man that could admit that he is not the Superior Spider-Man, thereby reinforcing his superiorness.
You see what I got to deal with when I drink with this
Spider-Man-y.
There it is.
I had a
by the time he says that, I'm all confused.
I would give the Superior Spider-Man Returns a 4 out of 5 as well. It was really fun, and yeah, like I agree too. Like I miss Spider-Man or Superior Spider-Man. So, all right.
Why can't they just be friends and stop crime together?
They tried that for
Spider-Man
a while.
Spider-Man?
Superior tried to be in San Francisco.
Well, no, they also did it during the they did it during the Spider-Verse.
Spider-Verse? Yeah.
He kept trying to take over the team.
Well, he's like, wait a minute. Like, if he's here, that means I fucked up somewhere.
Right. Which was an awesome moment.
So great too, because it's like,
yeah,
and then the villain comes out again. Like, it's like he can't hold the villain back. I guess that's his problem. He's like, he can't hold the villain back.
It was awesome because he did just assume. He was like, oh, that's Spider-Man that's Peter Parker from before I took over. He just assumed that was the case. I was like, that's awesome. Yeah. Okay, on to Superior Spider-Man #1. So, yeah,
I like to call this number 0.
Yeah, I hate this book. This book is garbage. This book is so bad. No, this book is so bad.
They had to make that other book so that we could get a Superior Spider-Man.
When this came out and I bought it, I told them to add it to my pull list. And then every time I've gone back and picked up a pull list, I looked through it. I haven't seen another Superior Spider-Man issue. Not really mad. Like, I think they know me now.
Wait, so you told them put it on your pull list.
Yep.
And then after issue 1,
you guys know how excited I was when that came out. I sent you guys a picture. I had the book and everything. I'm like, put this guy on my pull list. They forgot, and I'm not mad about it.
Okay. So, why is this such a terrible book, Oz?
Because it's not a Superior Spider-Man book. It's a Spider-Boy book. And Spider-Boy is just starting to annoy me. It's like he's in everything. I can't pick
everything
up a
Spider-Man.
Well, yeah. Like, I can't pick up any Spider book without him on the cover or like page 2. And it's getting on my nerves. Like, it'd be one thing if he was like Parker's kid and we're talking about the future, in which case I'd be mad that it's not May, but whatever. I feel like they're pushing this kid on me.
The Ultimate Spider-Man.
I feel like they're pushing this kid on me because now that Peter Parker has to be an adult, they need that childish spider person. You know, like when Spider-Man first came out, he was a kid. He was a teen, and that was the appeal of the character. And I think I'm assuming they think that that's kind of going away now that he's dealing with more adult issues. So they need another kid in there, and they literally just popped him in a book. Like, he just pops out of nowhere. Nobody knows who the fuck he is, and now he's in every story. They flash back, and he's in there and getting on my nerves.
Yeah, like it's weird. It is weird. Like, and don't get me wrong. Like, I read the book that he first appeared in.
Yeah.
And of course, that joint is literally just him like, "Hey, it's me," and then he like swings away, right? Or jumps away or whatever. But this book, I feel, might be my first like real experience of Spider-Boy.
You ever read Spider-Man 1?
No, I haven't. And so I was just like, for me, having not read anything other than that first like initial, like his first actual appearance, I guess, I'm just like, I don't know what's going on with this kid. Like, I know a little bit because Mo and I have talked about it. But like, just from a comic reader perspective, I'm kind of like even the idea, that's was that a foil cover?
Yeah.
Okay.
Foil cover. And it's signed by Dan Slott. And
is that him with Superior?
No, it's him with regular Spider-Man, but it's a Carrie Andrews cover.
Okay.
Damn, I knew I shouldn't have.
There it is.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, though. Like, I'm just like, okay, so this fool has like his own kind of set of powers, which I get. Like it, he should, but he has like his spider sense is like innocent sense. Is that what it is? Like it doesn't tell. It tells him when innocent people are in danger. Is that what it is?
Well, I guess that's a simplistic way of doing it, but it's like it's where yeah.
No, I mean if there's if there's a nuance to it that I don't understand, I'm like I definitely don't feel like I have a full sense of what it is he does or can do, because I know that I saw that Doc Ock, when he was Superior Spider-Man in the flashback, he's like, I don't want this kid to touch me, which I didn't. I'm still not even 100% certain. Like I'm not 100% certain if Spider-Boy actually existed in the past or not.
Well,
I'm assuming he did from this book.
He is like retconned in through, because that FF like appearance, was like a thing back then,
right?
And
I do
was
remember
happy
that.
to see it again, because I was reading FF like with It Girl and She-Hulk and real Scott Lang, not movie Scott Lang,
right? Right.
And so I love that book, the Matt Fraction book. Which kudos to Matt Fraction. He's not doing comics right now because he's got the big Godzilla money now. He's the like executive producer of Monarch on Apple TV.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah.
Oh wow, good for him.
Yeah, so you don't give a fuck about comics anymore. Unless you stick around for the news. I got a story about Matt Fraction for you. But yeah. Yeah, I don't even know where I was going with this.
You were talking about Superior Spider-Boy and like he actually was around. Have they revealed like what happened that made it so that everybody forgot him?
That I don't know. And it might be a Mephisto thing with Superior. Like this is like the Spider-Man that like he birthed as part of that deal. That's what I'm getting at. Like it's part of the raw deal. And although he did come in with End of Spider-Verse, which is a whole other thing, but that could be just the he has red hair, so he can't be like anything good.
What does that mean?
No. I mean, like that design choice for him is probably like signifying like he's with Mephisto or something.
Why can't he just be related to MJ?
Why would he? Like MJ got like how would he be related to MJ? MJ's dad left when she was like 6.
Haven't they gone into his like family history a little bit? Like he talked about him in some books?
Yeah. Well, no. He was one of those like child traffic kids, and he got turned into like an animal hybrid with a spider. Which is the stuff that was happening during like pre-Dark Web with Miss Marvel. Like that's the villains that she was fighting. And then nobody, when she died, nobody's fighting them, and then still nobody's fighting them because they're like shitty ass villains. Because she's the one fighting them. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. It's like, why don't her family do some shit like they did in the fuck? They're all over the fucking show in the movie. Why can't they fight those people? Yeah.
You know what's weird about this kid too? His mask is like closed, and in this book, he like lifts it up to eat. But I'm looking at the Spider-Boy book, and he's got a mouth, like he's got fangs.
Yeah, so that's the weird thing because of like how he came to be. He gets it's almost like he turns into the man spider kind of thing, and somehow it works with his costume. Like that's another like design thing. Like as much as I've been enjoying Spider-Boy, like these are little like nitpicky things where I'm like, you know what, like I'm enjoying this, but this is lazy. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I can't imagine personally having read this book like the way you did, Mo, originally, where you're like you read this book first and then read the Superior Spider-Man Returns, because I feel like I mean, obviously the story, directly connects in regards to, like you said, and that's what you were saying, where it should have been like issue 0 or an oversized issue 1.
Yeah.
But it's wild because I mean they do give you enough information so that you know what's happening, but it just kind of feels like a lesser experience if you didn't read Superior Spider-Man Returns. To me, I mean, you actually had that experience, Mo. How do you feel?
Well, I read these after reading Spider-Boy. Also.
Got you.
So okay. I was already like, I'm on the.
You're primed for Spider-Boy.
I didn't want to like Spider-Boy like that, and then I met Dan Slott in person. I heard him talk about it. Like he loves it, and it's like, all right, this is what he's doing. This is where he gets to do Spider-Man shit, and as much as I wasn't into it when it came out, I started reading it and I'm looking at it through the way that he explained it to me in person, and I'm like, I think this shit's gonna pay off,
Okay.
So that's like I'm just waiting for it to pay off. So that's where I'm with it, and then the stuff that they're doing here, like I really wish the Superior Spider-Man book wasn't a Spider-Boy book, but I haven't read the ones after, so we might get a payoff in as far as Superior Spider-Man goes in the next 2-3 issues, So,
right.
Yeah.
Well, listen, Jay actually alluded to the fact that he had read them.
Yeah, but where is he now? He's dead. He's gone. Oh, hey, Jay.
the Jay returns. Jay, so
hey, Jay.
you
we don't know
read
if there's anyone that left.
Oh, got you. This could be alternate a variant, a Jay variant. Yeah. Jay, you read issue 2 and 3 of Superior Spider-Man. Can you give us a little insight without being overly spoilery about like the direction the book is heading? Because like I said, I was thinking like, okay, this is just going to be in the same way you have Spider-Man adjectives, right? Whether you're talking about spectacular or amazing, I'm like, okay, well, they're just adding superior to the mix. That's what I was thinking, because I was like, okay, well, they're obviously not going to put Doc Ock back in Peter Parker's body. But you kind of alluded to the fact that might be the direction they're heading.
It might be.
Okay.
So how do I say this without spoilers?
You could spoil it. I give you permission.
Okay.
I mean, light spoilers, because obviously, yeah, it's...
Don't listen to Larry. Listen to me.
It's the journey. It's really the journey. But basically, when Supernova comes back, she's after Spider-Man, and Anna Maria is like, oh my God, Spider-Man doesn't know who this is. Like, I have to go tell him. And she ends up getting kidnapped.
Oh, damn.
So now it's a Doc Ock Spider-Man team up in order to save Anna Maria. But, Doc Ock is who he is. And, I will say, if I stop reading now, like, I'll be fine. Because there's a scene where Spider-Man has to infiltrate one of Doc Ock's old labs that he's not using. And he basically has to pretend to be the Superior Spider-Man in order to get in. So like he gets attacked by the Spiderlings, and like Doc Ock is like telling him what to do to pretend to be him. It's hilarious. Like it is great.
What that's issue 3, you said?
Yeah.
Ah, that's so good. Like, I'm telling you, this shit pays off, Larry. Like
It's
that alone is a payoff. Yeah.
like he comes in the base and the spiderlings are like start shooting at him, and he's like, "Why are they shooting?" It's like, and Doc Ock's like, "You fool! You have to be me. I don't jump around like like jump around like an adult. Like
now where are these spiderlings even coming from? I thought they're not any more spiderlings though.
Oh, basically,
he has sleeper
Doc
cells.
Ock had them stay in order to guard a material. Like they're in this underwater, like underground base.
So these fools are like,
yeah, they're just waiting for someone to intrude.
You see why me and Oz drink and talk about who the superior Spider-Man is? Like he has all these things. If Peter Parker had all these things, it's like he could save the world on his own. He don't need no fucking Avengers. And Sony wouldn't need to rent him out to the MCU. But
I mean, Peter Parker could never even get his doctorate. You need one more class. Like Doc Ock got it in like an hour.
Hey, fuck you. We're not drinking and I can't punch you.
I am drinking. What?
No, but I can't punch you.
Wait, so let me ask this question, because this was something that confused me too, where in this issue you had Anna Maria like recognize the villain, recognize not only Supernova, but like knew her name as Estrella. And I'm like, how does she know her? Like that doesn't she worked what?
It's implied that over the months of working together of Estrella and Superior Spider-Man, that they've met during the months that she was working for him.
Dude, issue okay, now I have to buy these issues. I like the first page of issue 3, they have it on a whiteboard, like the timeline of Otto's brain pattern. There's like time travel adventure, and then Copy's brain, and then it starts going into clones.
Yes, Peter is wondering whether or not he can trust Doc Ock. So he kind of maps out his mental state and comes to the conclusion that, yeah, the Doc Ock that was a good guy, like, that's not you. Like, your mind is before you became, like, good. So I'm not sure I can trust you.
Because of the Mephisto thing.
But in that issue, in the first issue, if he remembers everything, he should remember why he decided to take up the cause of the hero.
I mean, it might depend though, because it's like remembering events isn't the same thing as like a mental pattern necessarily, right?
Yeah, I mean, if it's like that Returns book where now he's having the memories, but through this filter of original Doc Ock, I can see that. I'm just scanning through it. I'll go back and read it when I buy it.
Yeah. I'm not sure if I buy the Anna Maria thing, but I'll take it because I don't like Anna Maria. Like Anna Maria never, like, if I remember right, like, I mean, she found out that Doc Ock was Superior Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But it's not like she wasn't like dating Superior Spider-Man. She was only dating Peter Parker.
No, but there's a whole thing where she had, like, Peter had to hang out with her because when he wasn't Doc Ock anymore. And he's like, yeah, I know you had this whole thing with him, but that's not me. And he had to explain to her what happened.
Right. That I remember, but at what point would she know Australia?
Well, that's like Spider-Boy. Like, it's retconning in, you know.
But you got to tell us where the retcon is. Like, that's like, there's nothing wrong with the retcon. It's just the fact that it's like, yeah, if you don't show it to us, because between the issue that, between the Superior Spider-Man Returns and Superior Spider-Man #1, it's like there's nothing that tells us that she would know who that person is. She just recognizes her in the first issue, and you're like, and so unless they show us something in issue 2 or 3, it feels like, that's just out of nowhere. Unless there's something I'm missing, which could be the case, but I don't know what it is.
I didn't feel that way, but then I'm me, so.
Jay was like, of course she knows Australia. They go out and do brunch.
I mean, who doesn't visit their guy at the lab?
Yeah.
But at that time, she didn't know that he was Spider-Man.
I don't know that. I didn't read Superior Spider-Man.
Oh, but I do know that. Because I did read it. So she learns later, but not at that point. Like, because at least,
I mean,
yeah.
if Supernova still has that same face, I think she would have recognized who was working with
that
with her man for years, or however long. I think not years, but however long.
Oh, you know what?
That whole time where there was that whole time where the living brain was Dr. Octopus,
right?
And he
but
was
you know
still
what?
like both an amalgamation of like the hero and the villain, and that was a
Right.
backup. And he still talked to her too, you know.
Right. You know what though? Actually, you know what it is which this doesn't make sense, or I won't say it doesn't make sense. What I will say is, technically, she did meet her when she was at the job board when he was posting the job. Anna Maria was there too, but that's not enough of a reason to be like, oh, that's such and such. Especially when she's like,
that's true.
Am I the only one that wants like a romance comic with like Dr. Octopus, Spider-Man, and Anna Maria? Like, I want to see that.
I like their relationship. I don't think I want
love it
as a straight comic, but I like their relationship.
Yeah. And like, even when she met Peter, like, yeah, it's the body, but you're not him. You know,
right.
It's so great, and it's purely intellectual. It's almost like it's I don't want to say almost like it's better than like Sheldon and Amy Farrah Fowler. It's a better like that's the that effect on that show. Like this is like 10 times better than that. But it was explored like theirs was explored. So that. Look, give me that as a one shot, motherfuckers.
Yeah, I would read that as a one shot.
I'll pay $10 for that. I don't give a fuck. Like as a one shot, I'll pay $10. I don't give a fuck.
There it is. Well, you can have that for the 15th anniversry, Mo.
Yeah.
15th Superior Spider-Man.
Like next time I see Dan Slott, if I have the balls to actually say something to him, I'll say that.
That's a no.
So, but okay, cool. How did you all feel about the art for Superior Spider-Man #1?
It was great.
Same.
I love how
that was great too, Oz.
I mean, it's still this Bagely guy.
Yeah.
It's the better art I've seen from Bagley in a while. Like it's still it's not. I feel like some of his art is not that great, and like especially in End of Spider-Verse, I'm like, what the fuck? Come on, man, can we get like, especially when you're used to like Carmen Cooley, Stegman, Humberto Ramos, even fucking Paulo Rivera fucking did some amazing shit, So it's like Bagley is like a step back, but he is putting a lot of energy into it. So it looks contemporary, and I had no complaints.
But it's not Bagley for this one, is it? Isn't it a different guy?
For
Superior Spider-Man, it's Bagley.
Oh, it is?
The first issue, I think, has other people too. No, it's the second
story. The second story.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Well, you all ready to rate it?
Yes.
Okay, let's do it. What would you all, Jay? Why don't you start? What would you rate Superior Spider-Man number 1?
I'm gonna rate 1 through 3.
Okay,
And I
what
would
would you
give
rate
it a
1 through
4.
3? Okay.
It was good enough, and I really enjoyed seeing Peter pretend to be Octavius.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
And I like Anna Maria too. She wasn't useless.
She's never useless.
She's the superior MJ.
Yeah. She's a great character. She really is.
I can tell.
Yeah. If you read Superior Spider-Man, you would love her.
Like even their courtship, like again, like I feel like that they didn't put too much. They put a lot of energy into that, but not enough. Like I want to see that more than anything.
Yeah.
Like in a perfect world where like maybe Octopus got the Infinity Gems, he would he could probably just live that life, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and hearing Dr. Octopus and Spider-Man like bicker over the name of the squids, the Octosub, was pretty funny.
Octosub? I don't even know what that is.
It's obviously a submarine.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, that's like a new thing. Like, is that a thing that that's happened before? I don't know.
You'll never know. You got to read the next issues.
I guess so.
You should read. Like, it's worth it. Like, I don't know if I want to keep reading, but what I've read is really good. Like, and I would definitely suggest other people read.
Jay's like, I highly recommend you read this book that I'm going to stop reading.
Yeah. Like, I guess that's how it is, but it is good. Like, it's worth the read. Okay. I definitely am going to ask you about issue 4 when it comes out.
That's wild. One thing that which just is just going back because we mentioned the Octosub, and I was like, is that a thing? Like, one thing that they did show in the Superior Spider-Man Returns was the Quintronic Man when they fought AIM. And I was just like, dude, like that is friggin' a deep cut right there. I'm like, the Quintronic Man, which I'm sure that the Quintronic Man's probably showed up someplace else, like since before now, like in modern comics somewhere. But I'm just like, I don't read enough Marvel comics that have AIM in them that I know where that is. Like, I don't read, but I'm just like, Quintronic Man. I was like, dude, I haven't seen that since like.
All I know is I want a snap card and I want to AIM like a snap card, like a 1-0. It's like, oh, you've been attacked by AIM, and they pull up your place with like 1-0, like one location.
That would suck. Yeah, maybe like a location. That would be kind of interesting. Yeah. But anyway, Oz, what would you rate Superior Spider-Man number 1?
I'm probably gonna go with 3 because of all the Spider-Boy. As we get further into the run, I don't think I saw any Spider-Boy in issue 3.
Yeah, so that dude gets put in his place.
Okay, so I think it'll get better. Jay definitely convinced me to yell at my comic book shop and threaten to turn him into a rub and tug like the last one that scorned me.
I was gonna be like, you know what I do to comic shops that screw with me.
It's happened before. I have that power. So
there it is. Moses Magnum, what would you rate Superior Spider-Man number 1?
This is like a 2. I enjoyed reading it, but again, like I'm reading Spider Boy. Like
Okay.
the Superior Spider-Man Returns. In addition to this, as a one issue, would have elevated it to like a 4. Yeah,
Hmm.
I do like the art. I like everything in it, but it's like this isn't. Yeah, you see him, Octopus, coming after, behind Supernova, like, yeah, shit like
Mhm.
that. But again, yeah, Jay gives me hope, so that I will keep. I actually just bought them now because after reading, when I read them, I it wasn't gonna. So thankfully, in the beauty of digital comics and not having to
Mhm.
go to a comic shop, like I have them already, so I'm gonna read them tonight. So so that's but yeah, definitely issue 1. That's not what an issue 1 should be. For especially like you're bringing back Superior
Mhm.
Spider-Man, or at least
Yeah.
Doctor Octopus in that vein. This is not what
Yeah.
issue 1 should be. So that's a 2 for
Yeah.
me. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you would
Yeah.
have put that Superior Spider-Man Returns together in this as part of this,
Yeah.
dude,
Yeah.
$5, $6, $8, $10, whatever. Like it's still that would be a 4-star book. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I hear what you're saying, and I have to agree. I think I don't know if I feel as strongly about it as you do because what I I didn't 100% dislike. I won't even say it like that. I didn't dislike it. I didn't fully necessarily understand all of it, and that's just because I haven't been following everything that's been happening to I haven't been reading, I guess, enough Spider-Man because I don't know everything that happened to Doctor Octopus. I don't know everything that's been going on with Spider Boy, and so I feel a little lost, or maybe not lost, but behind. That's maybe the better way to say it because it's not like I'm like, oh, I don't know what's going on. It's just more so like, oh, I wish I had more insight into these things. And for me to feel that way, I think, like you said, about issue number 1, on top of the fact where I'm like, okay, like I do feel like there was like prerequisite reading with the superior,
Mhm.
um, the Superior Spider-Man Returns. I think I ultimately would probably have to just rate it like a 3, just because I don't know that it does the best job of being an issue 1.
Like if you're gonna recommend, like, oh yeah, I thought about Superior Spider-Man. I heard he's got a new book out. Should I read number 1?
Yeah,
Like
I'd be like, absolutely. I'd be like, no,
yeah,
you got to read Returns first.
yeah, or and then like skip 1 and go to 2. Yeah.
Well, why would you skip 1?
'Cause he's not in 1. Like, it's not about him in 1. Like, everything Joe told me, like, about what makes me wanna get more of this book happens in 2 and 3.
Right. No, I hear you.
You should
Like you
actually
still need.
read Returns and then go to number 2. So I
Yeah.
agree with Mo. That's the
Like,
proper order.
you
That's
can't
Well,
interesting.
I
I
read 1
can't
and
recommend
2.
it. Like, somebody
I,
who hasn't read comics and wants to get into Superior Spider-Man, I cannot recommend this issue 1 as a jumping off point.
Right. Right. I
Yeah.
agree with you there.
And so it's like, as a journalist, as a comic fan, as somebody that wants people to read more comics, in
Mhm.
fact, somebody wants people to read fucking comics. T-shirts coming soon. Is this number 1 doesn't fulfill that.
Yeah. Yeah. What were you gonna say, Jay?
I read 1 and 2 before I read Returns,
Yeah,
and I enjoyed
Yeah.
them. And I
yeah.
didn't want to read Returns, but we were reviewing it.
You enjoyed them because you read 2.
I did read them one after the other,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. And so,
that's
did
how
you
I
end up
read.
going? You went back to 3 after you read Returns?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah.
because 3 didn't come out until today, so I read
Oh, got you.
Returns yesterday for the show, and then I
Got
read
you.
3 today when I got home.
Got it. Got it. No, that makes sense. That makes sense. So, okay, cool. Um, well, look, I think we got to move on to Wolverine 41. Um, Jay, I would love to hear your take and your thoughts on what happens in this issue.
Okay, so in Wolverine number 41, Wolverine is just kind of on edge, on like pins and needles, because it's his birthday. And much like me, I don't like he's not really celebrating it. He's just kind of wanting it to be over with. Um, so he's, making the rounds, talking to people like, hey, be your best you. And
I'm sorry. I just like, yeah, I'm not saying that's not wrong. I just like the way that it's just the idea that Wolverine's giving out affirmations. Be your best you, bub.
right.
That makes me laugh. I'm sorry.
But then we have Sabretooth, who has a bunch of other saber teeth. And
it's not wrong.
It's not wrong at all.
I wish Larry would have explained it to me like that when he explained to me the whole Sabretooth thing back like 6 months ago.
So
Saber got a whole bunch of saber teeth.
They're like extra dimensional, I think, or multiversal. In any case, they're teaming up and they all fucking hate Wolverine. So they know it's his birthday, and as was their tradition, they are going to make sure he has the worst birthday ever by spelling out happy birthday in body parts of his friends. And that is
Spoilers.
Wolverine number 41.
Yeah, that pretty much sums it up. Dude, great job, Jay. Great job. Oh man, look, I feel like that needs to be the name of a book, Sabretooth. And it's just a book about multi-dimensional Sabretooths. Yes, Sabretooth. I would buy, I put that on my pull. Oh, dude. Oz, when's the last time you read a Wolverine book before this?
I wouldn't remember. He's in so many books.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
I just read a random book and thought it was a Wolverine book.
Exactly. Which is honestly, which was part of the reason why, when you were talking about Spider-Boy earlier, why I was like in Spider-Man books, because like being an X-Men fan, it's like, and being a guy that's like not a huge Wolverine fan necessarily, because when you talk about, I see our character everywhere, it's like no, like Wolverine is everywhere. Like Spider-Boy is all over Spider-Man books.
I mean,
Wolverine will show up in friggin' Power Pack.
But by that logic, I guess House of X, House and Powers of X.
Right, yeah. So you haven't read a Wolverine, like a solo or a focused Wolverine book in a minute. So what was your take on this book? I'm curious, because like not necessarily having been like on the journey with what's going on with Wolverine lately.
I don't think I like the saber teeth.
Okay.
Like I understand why this world Sabretooth is going after Wolverine, but I don't understand why all the other Sabretooth are helping him. Or why this Sabretooth even feels like he needs other people to help him fuck with Wolverine, when that's what he's been doing basically his whole adult life, is messing with this one dude.
Well, the last time, from somebody who does read Wolverine books, the last time he tried to do that on his own ended up in the death of Sabretooth by Jeff Loeb and Simeon Bianchi like 10 years ago.
Yeah, that is true. But also too, in fairness, like, don't get me wrong, like Sabretooth, of course, always has a hard on for Wolverine and wants to make his life miserable because that's Sabretooth, right? But the main push, like why there's a team of of saber teeth. I guess I gotta say, I gotta do it right. Like, why there's a team of saber teeth is because he wants to get revenge on Krakoa. So it's not like he was like, "Oh, I need you all to help me jump Wolverine." He was like, "We're gonna go fight the island of mutants." So think about it like that. Like, if you're gonna go fight, not just the X-Men, we're gonna go to this island full of mutants and kill every mutant on the island. You're like, I can't do that on my own. I need to have like a crew. So
there was a whole for the saber teeth is my point.
Well, there was a whole series that details that, right, Larry? With it was like kind, but it was like, or it was, what was it, like the Exiles, but with
Sabretooth and the Exiles, yeah.
Like, he's helped them do shit on their universe and shit, and then he's been collecting them too. So they owe him to a degree. Yeah.
I mean, like, honestly, it's definitely more, at least if I'm remembering right, it's definitely more of like an alpha,
a bloodthirst,
like pack kind of thing, where like they didn't just fall in line behind him. It was like he forced him, he dominated and proved himself to be like, the alpha Sabretooth. And so they're like, okay, well,
there's a lot of weird things. To me, it's weird.
Yeah.
What's happened? Like his conversation with X-23. I understand it. It makes sense. But when you're actually reading the conversation, I'm thinking, okay, so this dude's about to die. Like he's giving that talk
right
to people. I was, and this is probably just me, but when he's talking to Dakin, he was calling him Hinodu or whatever. I'm like, Dakin, what is he? Like, is this another kid? What the hell? Like, and then the claws come out. No, that's fucking Dakin. What? I didn't realize that was his name.
That was his name. His Japanese name.
Right.
Yeah.
You didn't know that?
Huh?
You didn't know that?
I just know him as Dakin.
Okay.
And then I'm used to him with like the mohawk, and not like the slick back ponytail thing that he had going on. Plus, he's wearing clothes, so I can't even see the tattoo. The only clue I had was when the claws pop out. I'm like, well, those are Dakin's claws.
Yeah.
He doesn't come out before even dialogue. Like,
right. And I'm looking at the character thinking that's Dakin, but like he keeps calling something else. He looks different. I'm starting. Wolverine at this point is like a couple hundred years old. He's had a lot of kids.
You never watched the cartoon? Like, he called Lady Deathstrike by her like God-given name, like in the cartoon. Like, that's what Wolverine does with the people he loves. Yeah.
Wolverine don't love nobody.
No, he does. That's his problem. That's why he's always hurt.
Like, all them kids.
That's what gives Sabretooth's power. What gives Sabretooth's power is that Wolverine loves people. Yeah. Otherwise, Sabretooth could just kill him and Wolverine wouldn't give a fuck.
I didn't think Dakin could be killed that quickly.
Well, no, that's a red herring. Like, he'll be back. Like,
yeah.
Go
ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, I mean, I was actually going to come to you next anyway, though. So, yeah, like I was just going to ask you your thoughts on the book, and like, what? Yeah,
the book is touted the most violent Wolverine book there is, and it's not. Like, it's just not. Like, it's violent just because of the last page, but that's Disney Marvel,
Hey, you do get that Biclops scene.
But they don't even show that really. Like, he just says it and you see it, like you see it in your head, but you're not seeing shit. All you're seeing is a splatter of red and lettering.
No, I mean, they do cut to the other side and you see that he's like, his head is split down the middle.
Again, I've seen, from somebody you asked about people that read, like, when's the last time you read a Wolverine book? Like,
right.
I've been reading volume 1 since the pandemic. Like, I read an issue a day, so
right.
I'm reading, and some of those are like, you got that era where, like, when, like, what is it? Those what's the shit? The fucking
and
the Death Wish movies, when those were big. Like, then you have like the Death Wish type, the Clint Eastwood type Wolverine stories, with So those were a lot more violent, and they were a lot more disturbing, and not in the violence, more in the psychological shit, because it was before he had his origin, before he knew what he was, and there's people fucking with his head. He doesn't know what to. He had to leave the X-Men, like in that series in Volume 1. He had left the X-Men in a sense because he couldn't tell if they were fucking with him as like an illusion, or like people that think they love him. Like he didn't know if it was real people they love him, and he didn't know why he was afraid that of people loving him. And it turns out it's because of Sabretooth. Yeah, but so this comes full circle here with some of that shit, and it's like, but him being available, like being ready, it's like everybody's like, yeah, we could just wait till midnight. It's like, no, I'll say it now, because it's like I know he's almost telling him, like, you're gonna die. Like I can't protect all of you. I can't be, even despite being in every book. I can't be everywhere at once. Which I thought that was like a funnier thing in this book, where it's like, come on, man, like you could be in every book. He could stop this, but it's a bunch of saber teeth, and I love the moment with him in Daken, because it's just something that you when I was reading a lot of the Daken stuff was in the Wolverine Origins book, that it was like, I think it ran for 50 issues, and then he went into the Dark Reign stuff, and so he became totally against Wolverine. So I never saw them really like reconcile, or him even accept him as his kid, in the sense, like, where they could just be, and having my dad here with his googly eyes, and that hit me a little bit. So Larry, why you cover your face like that, man? I'm expressing myself, man. Like, you shaming me? Yeah.
I'm not shaming you.
If I want to
googly eyes,
yeah, I put googly eyes on them, so it's like, hey guys, but anywho, but again, this is comics, it's not me. But yeah, so I did enjoy reading this book this way, but it was not the most violent Wolverine book I've ever read.
Gotcha.
And it's not it's a good starting, like, it's like I'm happy to see that all the Sabretooth War books happen in Wolverine. So it's like, I know what I'm gonna be. I'll put a pull list for the rest of the year or whatever, next 4 months, and get a bunch. I'm gonna be reading Wolverine now. Yeah,
it's interesting, because I know for myself, I'm like, and I guess this is kind of like been a theme here, where from my perspective, I'm like, okay, like if somebody's reading Wolverine, but just Wolverine, I feel like there's definitely like some questions that people would have, and rightfully so, in regards to like what's happening here and why, right? Like, don't get me wrong, like it tells you, it gives you a little bit of the background in regards to like, okay, Sabretooth was thrown into the pit and escaped from it, and so he hates Krakoa for that. But it's like this book is co-written. It's Victor Laval and Benjamin Percy, right? Which Benjamin Percy's been writing Wolverine, I think pretty much throughout the Krakoa era. He's been writing that and X-Force, which, both of those books were kind of like, companion books. And then Victor Laval has been doing, like, he did that, like Sabretooth came out with a limited series. I don't remember how long ago that was now. Like, I don't know if it was like a year ago or maybe like a year and a half. And then he had a follow-up with the Sabretooth and the Exiles, which
he did
is where
Percy, he also did the Weapons of Vengeance crossover? Yeah,
because I think he's also doing Ghost Rider as well. I think he writes the Ghost Rider book. So yeah, they did do the Weapons of Vengeance together.
I just bought it.
Okay. but Victor Laval, like the whole multi-dimensional Sabretooth thing was from that last Sabretooth and the Exiles book. And I will tell you, like, both those Sabretooth series are actually really good. And it definitely like adds some depth to Sabretooth in a way that is kind of surprising, especially considering, like, it's like Sabretooth's been around forever, but I'm just like, I read those books, and so I have a firm grasp of, I think, of what's happening and why in this book. But I'm just like, if you haven't read those Sabretooth books, I kind of feel like you're just like I mean, which one thing that I was kind of thrown off by, that I was very surprised by all of you here, I was like, this dude has an army of Sabretooths without heads that just follow him. And I was like, y'all were just like, okay. And I'm like, hey, that's cool.
I told you, I read the Simeon Bianchi, Jeff Loeb, Death of Sabretooth. Like, that's par for the course when you read that.
Wait, what?
Because that's how you like, he used the Muramasa blade to take off Sabretooth's head. And I figured that if Sabretooth's gonna dominate a bunch of people, and he's gonna have to do that.
He's gonna have to but they're walking around behind him though.
Yeah, because he got the collar shit, like the.
Yeah. Okay, cool. We're just like, hey, it's comics, right?
Well, I know. Like, for example, to get a hold of some Sabretooth that you don't like, if you can't kill him, but then there's there's the dominance collar shit, like we shit we saw with Planet Hulk and with the shit on what is it, a fucking Genosha, so it's like. Yeah, and like once I saw a design around their neck and severed heads, like, all right, yeah, Muramasa blade, or just straight up Sabretooth claws, and then put that on there, and then he's walking around,
there it is. Okay, cool. See, and that's it. I guess for me,
anyway, so it's like, on the multiversal level with Krakoa, it's gonna get like that.
See, I know for me, I would have totally been like, where are these people? What are these Sabretooths? Where they come from? What's going on with that? But yeah, okay. Like, that's me. Like, sometimes I get caught up in the details, I guess. Yeah. So, Jay, how'd you feel about the art, man?
I thought it was okay. Yeah, I didn't have too much. Yeah, like it was okay.
Okay.
Like, it didn't strike me any particular way. I mean, I actually did like the last page with the happy birthday. That was fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, the art was fine. Like, it did its job. I recognized Laura. And that's all I ask from a Wolverine book.
Is Laura?
Is that I recognize her.
Oh, okay.
If she's there. Yeah.
Got you.
Like, I don't know Dakin. Did not even know that was Dakin until Oz said it.
What about when the claws came out?
I mean, Wolverine hangs out with people with claws. Like, if there's one thing about Wolverine I know,
it could have been Spike.
Like, his people have claws.
Right.
So, yeah, I didn't know who that was. And I don't need, like, he's not even there anymore. So, it is what it is. If I could recognize Laura, if she's there, then that's what I require of a Wolverine book.
That's fair. I will say that I really did like the cover. I gotta hear.
It's
so
classic.
People can see it. Yeah. No, that joint, I mean,
I really wish it's a cutout card, like where the Sabretooth was like etched out. Remember how like Sabretooth #1, remember the red one where like you flip it and it's like it's cut out? Because it's the same font as that Sabretooth #1. Where like was like Bill Sienkiewicz that did it, like that book.
Yeah.
Such a good book, and it was only 4 issues, but all the covers were like etched out, like back when comics would make money, they could do that.
Right, right. And that's Lionel Francis Yu that did that cover. So
with what's his name? Was it Romano or the colorist? Because you got to get that through props too, because that's what really like separates.
Yeah, them.
You mind if I show the people?
Great. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Hold on, let me there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, that one. That was a shit. I love that font. That's Comic Craft font too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So good. I still have that.
They should do. Yeah, they should do that book when they do the multiversal one, the Saber Teeth.
Yeah.
Put the E's like that.
Oh,
yeah, man.
But
yeah. How about you, Oz? How'd you feel about the art?
It was good.
The end.
I mean, it was sold to me as the blood, like not bloodies or what, however they refer to it, and I think Mo was right.
The most violent Wolverine story ever told.
Yeah, could have been more. I think it was just that last page that they really.
No, it is only part 1.
Right, that's true.
Of the story.
And I will say for part 1, I mean, there was a lot of violence. Like a person literally gets ripped in two by a saber-tooth.
I mean, I saw like, yeah. I mean, I watched Wolverine take on a whole like Russian armada to get Epsilon Red, and it's like that was one issue, and that was only like 3 pages of issue, and he literally plowed through like Cold War soldiers, like sliced them like butter, you know?
Yeah.
But was there a Captain America Sabretooth there?
No, but there also was a school bus full of kids that he may or not have killed. It's just we don't know when in his psyche he killed them, but they were driving him to the base, and he had to sit there with their mangled bodies and shit because he's being tortured by his own psyche. Ah, fuck that Wolverine. Was it like 49 through 51? That those 3 issues are fucking. It's a fucking masterpiece, man.
Oh, there it is. There it is. So, like, it definitely, like, I will say, when I saw that on the cover, I was like, that's bold. Just because not only are Wolverine comics, like, notoriously violent, but it's like, there's so many of them. And I'm like, even people that work in the comic book industry, I'm just like, you're going to have a hard time convincing me that you've read every Wolverine comic that's been out there to gauge its level of violence in order to ensure that your comic is the most violent. Like, I'm like, nah, I don't think that's probably true. Like, you're gonna have to, like, you got to convince me.
Just that Christmas special, like, I forget what number it is, but Rob Williams wrote it, and it's like he's literally like, they hire Wolverine to do like security detail for like a Paris Hilton type of person while she's doing her Christmas shopping, and then she's targeted by this group that of like hijadas or some shit, and they lock down the mall, and he has to do essentially like a Die Hard with Wolverine in it, but it's, you know, when you think of Die Hard, but with Wolverine in it, there's no crawling through crawl spaces. It's like
you're right.
It's mushing on chunks of people. You know,
right?
Like, he just puts her on her back, and he's like, shut the fuck up. And then he's like, they come at her and they just shoot at her, and he's like, he puts her on her back and just takes all the shots. And then he's like, when they got to reload, he's like, makes nigiri out of them and shit. Like, it makes sushi rolls out of these motherfuckers.
Yeah,
he doesn't even have time to say yippee-ki-yay because he's already like, yeah.
You're talking about the 2006 Wolverine Christmas special?
Right. That sounds about right. What's the cover look like? Is it all snow?
No, I just see the title.
Oh, okay.
Under Rob Williams Wikipedia.
Rob Williams, yeah, that's it. Yeah,
they bring that up specifically.
Yeah, the shit's a fucking masterpiece, and it's fucking super, super fucking violent too. Like, every page is him slicing somebody into pieces. Yeah, every panel, you know. And I maybe it's not as violent because it's not a bad guy doing it. I don't know if that like justifies it. For me, violence is violence.
No. I mean, like Wolverine is violent. Everyone knows that.
But again, like he, in order for this, I feel that this book, in order for the violence to really hit, in terms of relation to Wolverine, he had to show affection for people, and that's part of it. I get that. That's the shit with what is it? The whole shit he had with fucking Silver Samurai and Yuriko and all those, and even was a Shadow Fox or whatever, like the Native American chick with Sabretooth, like they actually show that here. So it's like it's always when he cares about people that you get a lot of violence that isn't, justifiable. Yeah. And like,
right.
But even here, it's like you're going after Duckin, even fucking was it Quentin Quire? Like, he's working, like he knows he's on the job, he knows he's gonna get killed, he can get killed. I don't feel sorry for him. I don't feel sorry for Duckin. I don't feel sorry for Laura. Like it's like they're on the job, they're X-Force. Yeah, they're the killer squad. Like they know it's like it live by the sword, die by the sword. So it's like that violence doesn't even jar me in terms of a Wolverine comic, as it would if it was like, him not being
an innocent person,
him not even like in that Christmas special, him not even failing to protect her would be like a bigger hit of violence for me in a Wolverine book than what I saw here. Yeah.
That's fair. So, anything else y'all want to say about Wolverine number 41 before we do some ratings? Okay. I know, right? I'm like, y'all can at least shake your heads. Everybody just freezes. I'm like, what is happening? I'm
trying to find the Christmas special.
No.
Because I found the Marvel special, but I didn't find the Wolverine special.
It might be. So, give me 1 second, Jay.
I'm like, look, good luck. There's so many Wolverine books. Like,
no, and the thing is, I think that one, because it was an in-between issue, not part of an arc. You're gonna get that in like a random, like a Blood and Sorrow. Like fuck, there's a trade paperback called Blood and Sorrow, and it's just like 4 random Wolverine stories where he fucks shit up. Yeah. And then they're like, so I think that like it'll probably be put in a compilation of those, and because they don't really connect, they're all standalones, so like if you get a standalone anthology, it might be in there. But yeah, it was part of like in a Wolverine omnibus. I think it would be in like a volume 3 omnibus type, before because all this happened before, or yeah, I think before Civil War. So all that stuff like gets collected into like a omnibus 3 or a volume 3 in terms of Wolverine, because I think it still had like the 300s number in it or something. So
okay,
yeah. It was like one of those where like you had issue like 375, but then like the Christmas special came on too. And they do that story, and they do the one where it's like he's like stuck in the gulag and they can't let him out. But the way they can imprison him is by having like 3 anti-aircraft guns like shooting at him 24/7.
Oh yeah, I do remember that. Dang, that's crazy.
Yeah. And then he eventually gets out by saying, Hey guy, you got a daughter, right? And he fucks with the guy mentally, and he's like, yeah. He's like, what do you think they got me here for? Like, the guy's like, I don't know. Like, and right when he's like thinking about it, like, hey, you don't seem so bad, he slices his head off and gets the fuck out. So great. Again, a violent ass, like literally he's turning into ground meat every fucking panel. And you're telling me this is the most violent Wolverine story?
Well, at the same time, like it's like Jay said, it is issue 1, and technically we haven't seen Wolverine commit any violence yet. So it's like when Wolverine sees what gets done, maybe we will get some hyper violent Wolverine, but we'll see.
I mean,
the only thing is like the thing that for me where I'm like, is it really going to be the most violent Wolverine story? Is like you're telling it like in the Wolverine comic, like in like the mainstream Wolverine comic, like So I'm like, how far can you really go? Like I understand, like it's not like we're doing like comics code and all that kind of stuff, but like I don't even feel like this book had like a mature rating on it or anything. It just says not for kids, right? But
yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. All right, Jay, what would you rate Wolverine number 41, buddy?
I would give it a 4. I enjoyed the violence that was there, and I'm really happy that it's just one book. When you said
like all the parts,
yeah,
are going to be just Wolverine series.
Just going to be a Wolverine. Like I wasn't going to hunt down a bunch of different books. Like that wasn't going to happen. But I might read Wolverine for these next 10 issues.
Wait, is it 10 parts?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, my God. Okay. I didn't realize it was going to be 10. Like, wow. This would be a war for real, huh? Okay.
I said I'm buying Wolverine for the next year.
I heard you say it, and I was just like, I don't know why. In my mind, I'm like, I don't know why it's going to buy for the whole year. It's like, it's probably only going to be like 5 issues, right? But I would be wrong about that. It is, yeah, that's pretty much to the end of the year. Jesus. Wow.
I already just got the Benjamin Percy trade paperbacks too.
I'm just sitting here like, I'm like, the Krakoa era is going to be done before this war is, I guess, right? So,
well, it all takes place between that too. Like it's like
right
during. So
yeah, it's true.
It takes place before the fall of House of X.
Yeah, fall of House of X and rise of Powers of 10. So yeah, okay. Oz, what would you rate Wolverine 41, buddy?
I think 4 sounds about right. It's interesting. It makes me want to read the rest, but I'm not.
And that's fair. You're just like, hey, like, why won't you read the rest? Why won't you read the rest?
I wasn't reading Wolverine books before. I'm not going to start now.
Gotcha. Like,
I'm sure. Look, Mo's mentioned way more interesting Wolverine books than this one, and I'm not picking them up.
But you should.
Got it.
I know I should, but I won't.
They're tight.
There's a lot of things I should do that I'm just not going to do.
There's that one issue that's like Ages of Apocalypse where he's like in the Fantastic Four, where it's him, the Hulk, Spider-Man, and Ghost Rider. But it's not the classic one. They did 2 classic ones, the reserve team, and then they did another one that takes place during one of the Ages of Apocalypse. And that one's and it's only one book and it's tight. And I don't think you could. I mean, unless they did a Ages of Apocalypse trade paperback, I don't think you can get that anywhere. I don't even know if Marvel Unlimited does it. Marvel, want to sponsor us? Give us a subscription. I'll tell you what you can and can't find.
There it is. Most Magnum, what would you rate Wolverine 41?
This is a 4, man. I've been looking for an excuse to read Wolverine regularly, and this is this gives, at least for the next 10 months, this is it. So, I'm in 4 out of 4.
Okay. Yeah. What up, Burr? Yeah, Wolverine 41. I'm gonna give it a 4 too. It was, I mean, honestly, I will say to you that for my money, like this, and I'm speaking specifically of like ongoing series. This has been my favorite like ongoing series for Wolverine. And I know that's controversial, but it's like because Wolverine's had a lot of, I mean, obviously a lot of series, and like none of them have really been, or I won't say none of them, but very few of them have been like low quality. But for my money, like, like it always felt to me like there was no reason to have a solo series for Wolverine other than he's popular. And, sometimes those stories are good and sometimes they're not. Huh?
Sorry, I'm just making noise while you say that because it's. I mean, I can see why you say that, but it's not like I literally talked to you about him being ferried by a school bus of like dead people that he's killed and tormenting him on his way on a mission. And it's like that shit's super like. I mean, you're dealing, especially back then, like you didn't have PTSD understanding like we do now. But going back, those are really interesting stories for Wolverine because he is a victim of PTSD. Not only that, but also like mind tampering and gaslighting and all this shit. Aside from the physical abuse, and it's like, and then they want him to save the world.
And keep in mind that some of those, like you're right in that sense, and there might be like some Wolverine books that I might appreciate more.
Yeah,
in
not
my
all
older age.
Yeah,
that I might appreciate more now than I did like when I was younger. But this book felt like it had a very specific reason that you had Wolverine telling stories on his own, and like the like I think what I liked about it is that Wolverine in this run here is almost like, I don't even know what the right terminology is, but he's basically like um the soldier that fights for like the utopia that he knows he can't live in, and that like is kind of like the theme where it's like because you actually have Krakoa, and that's like an ideal, and it's like, yeah, this is this place where we all get along, and Wolverine's like, that's not for me, it's like, I want that for my people, but he knows, like, he's like, I can't live there, so
that's the beauty
let
of
me
Wolverine.
be other places.
Everywhere he's ever been.
but see, but that's the thing where
on a smaller scale,
doesn't.
The Krakoa is a bigger, more ideological, but he's always like, even being part of the X-Men like that, like he has to find his spot, and it's like an X-Force, and
see, but that's the thing where I guess for me, I'm like, I get that that's how he feels, but it's like, that's not real. Like, it's like, dude, like, these people love you, just chill out. It's like there's no reason you can't just be at the mansion and be good. It's like, that's you deciding, making a choice. You're like, I'm gonna be grumpy, But on Krakoa, it's kind of like, oh, okay, it's a little different, where it's like, but like I said, maybe it is just because it scales up. It makes more sense to me. I don't know. Derek H, what's Derek H saying?
He said, "Is there a book about Logan trying to bang a teenage rogue or Kitty Pryde?" One of the books I did mention earlier is that, like, that's one of the attacks where he's like, the sexuality comes into play, and it's like the girl's coming on them, and it is one of those. I don't think they use an actual X-Men. They actually might have, where he's like, and he just looks at them like, like they all are too young for him because he's like 150. Yeah, so it's like he's like, he's beyond that in that sense, where and this was back in like the 80s, where he's like, like, it's like, at this point, I just want you to make the right choices on who you choose. Like, I get more gratification from me protecting you than the actual physical act, and part of it is because he's all fucked up too. So it's like the urges fuck with him, because it is like kind of like he's animalistic, but it's like, I don't. It's something that he chooses not to do, because it's like, even if they're 50, they're too young for him, Like,
but plus, also Wolverine, like, as far as I know, like, he's only had like one person that he's actually like loved.
Yeah.
And that was it. And after that, everything else is like, the only people he messes with is like casual sex type folks.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's, or like, he's on a mission and it's part of the mission,
Yeah. Yeah. Like James Bond.
Yeah. Shadow Fox.
Yeah. So anyway. But yeah. So okay. So cool. We got through. Anybody want to do any quick news stories before we go, or we're you all ready to dip out? Yeah, any quick ones they want to say?
We do, the good people. I'm sad Jay's not here for this, but the good people at AEW have secured Jason Aaron to write the revamp of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But we also have a new set of artists to do each of the first 4 issues.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys saw that, but I'll tell you about it right now. Where's that?
Ooh, I can give you a picture if you want it.
Yeah, start with the picture, and I'll do the list.
Yeah. Because I was like, that's pretty crazy, and you'll be able to see it here. You'll be able to see it.
So,
and
yeah,
here's the artist.
Yeah, so number 1 is Raphael is Jason Aaron with Joel Jones, Cliff Chang doing number 3 with Leonardo, Michelangelo is Raphael Albuquerque, and Chris Burnham with number 4 with Donatello. And yeah, man,
this was amazing promo to me too, because it's like you get to see like the art styles for each person.
Yeah,
and I was like, dude, I'm so psyched for this.
Yeah,
I'm so psyched for this.
And then on top of that, with the book that we talked about, the Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees.
Oh yeah.
It's going into its 3rd printing, thanks to us.
Nice.
So check out that video. I'm actually gonna remember that I wasn't here for that episode, so I made a little video. I'm gonna post that tomorrow as a standalone video just to keep pushing the promotion of that, because it's a really good book. I think they're on issue like 4 now.
Yeah.
People's reactions, like looking at them on TikTok, like their reactions to the book is insane. I got to catch up on it.
I will tell you that a buddy of mine who doesn't normally read comics, checked in and just like asking me up. He always hits me up and asks me like, hey, so I know your show's coming up. What are you all talking about? And I told him about that book. Like even before we reviewed it, I just told him like what the premise was and that we're going to talk about it. And he went and bought the book and has been reading it ever since.
Oh man.
Like that's how good of a book that is, where it's like just the premise alone intrigued him. And then from then, like the book itself was enough. Like issue 2 came out and he was asking me if I had read it already. And I was like, no, actually, I have not. And he's like, hey, man, you got to read that book.
We only pretend to like comics. We read the first issue and that's it.
Yeah, man. But this joint is like I was already hyped for this series. But when I saw this and I was like, this promo is so good. And I was just like, I love that Cliff Chang, Leonardo right there. But actually, both Cliff Chang and Chris Burnham, like I feel like those 2 art styles are very reminiscent of like comic book Ninja Turtles, but just like a little bit like elevated. Of course, no shade on Eastman and Laird, because that's the OG. But what I feel is like they were trying to channel Eastman and Laird's style in these images here. And again, I mean, Albuquerque and Jones here are killing it too. It's just a different interpretation.
And so the modern take. Yeah,
right.
The Joel Jones I love, like Raphael's my favorite.
Looks so good.
So seeing her do like Joel Jones do Raphael's book, I'm like, I want to watch and I want her to do it.
And then Raphael Albuquerque is gonna continue do the series for the next arc. So so it's cool because I'm just like, I mean, I love Raphael Albuquerque's art as well, and that Mikey looks great. And so if that's what we're getting, like first of all, just like these first 4 artists, I'm like, that's like a murderous row of amazing art. And then to be like, okay, then Raphael Albuquerque is gonna continue with the next arc after that, and I'm just like, well, cool. Like, and if they rotate like these 4 through, that would be amazing, which I don't think that's gonna happen. But if it did, like, sheesh, like You're gonna have some amazing Ninja Turtle comics, man.
Yeah. Tarkala reminding us that the relaunch is not a reboot. The universe is still around.
Oh, wait. So what does that mean? Like, are they gonna? This series is gonna take place.
It's still in the same universe.
It's still in the same. Oh,
Yeah.
jeez. Oh, okay.
It'll be like your good starting point.
Okay. Hopefully, I don't want to feel all behind.
He says the ongoing concludes with issue 150, then relaunches with number 1 with new writer and artists.
Okay. Damn. So that we do have to go back and read those other 150 issues.
Luckily, between Jay and I, we got you covered. We're the, I'm sure they'll give us copies because we're, members of the board.
Right.
That's how we got Jason Aaron. Yeah. And Ob Driver doing all the PR. Like, hey, hire people we like. Yeah. Like realistically, we talk about the distillery book. Like all those people are distillery people. Right.
Like,
they finish the books up there. They're like, okay, we're getting distillery team.
Right. Right. I like Heck cheer. Heck says, "You got to read comics." Oh no.
Hey, well, we are talking about Kevin Eastman. He is launching a new series on Image, I guess in Skybound, called Drawing Blood. The cover doesn't look good. I wish I would have produced it, but it was part of a Kickstarter, and they got the maxi series picked up by Skybound, so that's coming down. And he got a couple. It's an Eastman creation, but it is he's got a team working on it so that he doesn't have to do it. I think I have the names here. It's writer David Avalone. He wrote Bat Wheels and Elvira, and then artist Ben Bishop, who did Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Last Ronin, The Aggregate, and then Troy Little, who did Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas and Rick and Morty. And that Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas and that Rick and Morty I like, but Rick and Morty is stylized, so it's made to look like Rick and Morty. But that Fear and Loathing is good, and then that Last Ronin is good. So the cover itself, I like when I saw it, I wasn't a fan of, but we'll see. It's we'll see what the story holds, and we'll see what he comes up with. But yeah, that should be coming out in April 24th, so you can start hitting your comic book shop for that Drawing Blood. It'll also be Kindle, Apple Books, and Google Play. So you can find them there.
Cool. Yeah. Anything else before we get out of here?
I think that's it, man. All right. Wrap up music?
Let's do it. Jay had to run, so someone will have to pretend to do his final thought.
I hate it because it's like, where is this
outro? You hate what?
I hate it because it's like, we've been doing good about the time, and even with him here, and it's like, I'm like, oh yeah, let's have news stories too, and then we did it. We didn't, we didn't end on time.
Right. It's all good. All right. Oscor, give me some final thoughts, buddy.
I just sent a new Loot Crate video to our QA department, so hopefully that'll be out in a few days.
Nice. All right. Moses Magnum, final thoughts.
Yeah, we got more videos, like you said, coming down the pike. I got one. I'm doing a review of what's that shit called? Conan on Titan Books. Believe it or not, Marvel gave up on Conan, so Titan has it. So, the word behind the barber chair. I know we're not supposed to talk about what we talk about in the barber shop, but it's Marvel just rented it out to Titan. And Titan's doing it now. But they got Jim Zub and Rob De La Torre doing it right now. And Jim Zub is great. We've talked to him on the show here. So But luckily, the dude that works at Titan was like, "Oh yeah, I work for Titan." I'm like, "Oh, so let's get some interviews going." So we might have some of that coming, hopefully, unless my brother fucks it up. But anywho, we'll have there's at very least a review of the new Conan book off of Titan, and on a new platform called Omnibus. I'll give you a taste of what it is like to buy comics there. Now that Comixology is dead.
There it is. All right, cool. For the entire Fantastic Forum, we thank you so much for hanging out with us. We appreciate you. Please hit us up. Let us know what you like, what you don't like, what you want to see more of. Like and subscribe for friggin' all of our stuff because we need that help. So, please. It really does help us out. It only takes a moment from you. So please do it. We do appreciate you. Until then, we are the Fantastic Forum. Good night.